All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining Arkansas Storm and Shield. We come in with breaking news. We have a tornado warning that has been issued for Scott and Polk counties. It's going to be for this area rotation moving out of Oklahoma. We do have a new update to that tornado watch that we have in effect until 7 o'clock. Let me just quickly check and see what that was about. That's going to be them canceling a series of counties over in Oklahoma.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
We also have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings currently in effect in Arkansas. That's going to be for Benton, Washington County, as well as Sebastian County there. Crawford County. Down here into Polk and Scott County, the current area of rotation, let me go ahead and circle that. It's going to be this area right in here, and it's going to be moving off to the northeast. It's going to, should steer clear of Minna. It will be heading towards Waldron eventually. Waldron is not included in the warning. Neither is Minna. It includes very remote areas of this part of Arkansas. So it is headed not towards any population centers, but if you know anybody in this polygon, give them a call, let them know, hey, there's a tornado warning. You need to get to your safe place. So I want to go ahead and quickly take a look up to the north, just see what's going on up here. I'm not seeing any immediate areas of rotation that are immediately concerning. Maybe this area right in here from the Fort Smith radar, but that's looking up higher than the Tulsa radar. So that's telling us that there is some upper level rotation, but it hasn't translated down to lower levels yet. So we do need to keep in mind on that, but fortunately that is moving out of the state. I'll go ahead and circle that area and tell you that it is moving. It might cross over the northwestern portions of Benton County very briefly. If it does go tornado warned, then we'll cover it, but it is likely not going to get there before it gets out of the state. Back down here to the current tornado warning. It is still in Oklahoma, crossing over 260. I believe that would be Highway 260, State Highway 260. There's no towns in this immediate area. It is off to the west of Hatfield and Cove. So it is also headed to the northeast. So it will be heading up towards Minna eventually, but Minna is not in this warning. So we can go ahead and take a look at reflectivity, and we can see that there is an inflow notch where there is wind that is pushing into the storm. And we also have this rain that's trying to wrap around there. So on reflectivity and velocity, we are seeing that there is some intense rotation going on here, enough for the National Weather Service to go on ahead and issue that warning. I want to take a look at correlation coefficient, which would tell us if there's any kind of debris being lofted. I'm not seeing any indication of debris currently being lofted. So I don't believe that this is currently on the ground based on radar. Again, this is pretty far away from radar, so it would take a pretty strong tornado to loft debris that high. So we just want to be mindful of that. But as of this current moment, I don't believe that it's on the ground. And that area of rotation would be just north of Highway 260, heading up into Polk and Scott counties.
New information.
There's a new update to the Crawford County, Washington County severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to be for this right here. It does not have a tornado possible tag on it, so they're not seeing any indication of rotation on it. I'm seeing a little bit, but it's not enough to start being concerned about, and they're probably seeing it too. It's just be right in this area. It's not your typical greens and reds. It's just this weakened area of reds. So just want to be mindful of that. That would be heading up towards West Fork. That is not tornado warned. It's just something that we need to keep an eye on. I do want to jump back down here to the actual tornado warning that we do have. And again, it's going to be for this area north of Highway 260. I believe that's Oklahoma 260. And it is headed off to the northeast towards Arkansas Highway 8 and US 59. Black Fork Mountain Wilderness would be in the path of this, as well as portions of US 71 north of Minna. Near the county line of Scott and Polk County. We do have some new special weather statements coming out. That's going to be for Little River and Sevier counties down here in southwestern Arkansas. I'm going to switch over to the Shreveport radar because they probably have a better view, and you can see that there are some storms forming in there. The National Weather Service, I believe, has a radar in Idabel or somewhere around there where they can see better than we can. Just we don't have access to that data, so they're seeing it better than we are. And I want to quickly take a look at velocity. I'm not seeing any immediate signs of rotation in there. Do want to take a look back up here, and we can see that that area of rotation, I'll go ahead and circle it again. It's going to be this area just north of Highway 260, and it is moving off to the northeast. So Black Fork Mountain Wilderness, areas along US 59 between Minna and Oklahoma they need to be taking their tornado safe spots. They need to start taking their precautions and seeking shelter. And this is generally what we're going to be expecting to have throughout the rest of the night, is storms popping up along this cell and are popping up along this line as well as in front of it. So that's what we're looking at for tonight. We're looking at these isolated cells in front of the line that may produce these tornadoes. And then we're also looking for the strong winds along this line. So that's what's about to be coming into Washington and Benton counties. That's that line of storms that's going to be bringing that strong wind and that potentially large hail. I'm not seeing any major hail on this from this view. Let me switch over to here. We can see that there are some spots where there are some larger hail heading over towards Cedarville and eventually Mountainburg. Winslow maybe could also see that, but it is not it's not massive hail. They have updated the warning in Oklahoma. They have trimmed it back a bit, so we'll go ahead and take a look at velocity again, and we can go on ahead and circle it. See, there it is, and it's headed up towards Arkansas Highway 8 and US 59. Again, this will be eventually into the Waldron area. It is not currently warned. So Waldron, you are not currently warned. Areas of Scott County in southwestern areas of Scott County, you are under the warning. Waldron is not. That's more up in central Scott County. I do want to try and take a look at iDrive, see if we have any cameras in the area. And if we do, we'll be able to try and get us a better look at it. I believe that there should be one near Minna. And this one faces south, so that's not going to give us the best view because it's at a downward angle, but we'll go on ahead and look at it. Let me get rid of that. There we go. So we'll go on ahead and look at it. This is the Arkansas Department of Transportation's camera at Y City, and this is looking southbound. So if there were to be any kind of tornado, we're not probably going to be able to see it from here. This is still a good ways away, but it would be up in this area. Hold on. This is even in the way. Let me get rid of that. There we go. It would be up in this area where that would be. Let me see if I can't resize this a little bit to... There we go. It'd be towards the top of the screen. But we are not currently seeing that, so we're going to go on ahead and switch back to radar, which would tell us a better story at this current time. And we'll go on ahead and update that circle it right there, and show you where it is and where it's headed. It's going to be still north of 260, headed towards Arkansas Highway 8 and US 59. Want to take another look back up here to Washington and Benton counties, and I again am not seeing anything that immediately stands out as needing to be concerned about for rotation. They have issued another severe thunderstorm warning for Benton and Washington counties. That's going to include Cave Springs, Rogers, Little Flock, Pea Ridge, Bella Vista, all the way back over to Siloam Springs. That should be popping up any moment now. If it hasn't already, I don't remember if it has, but that's going to be this warning, this box right here. That extends all the way up to the state line. Back down here to the actual tornado warning, this area would be just north of 260, heading up towards Highway 8. Again, this does not include, there's that warning that I was mentioning. This warning does not include Minna, it does not include Waldron, it does include areas to the west of both of those and the south of Waldron. It would be eventually nearing Waldron. I'm going to go on ahead and get us a track on this, see if we can't see what time this would be getting into Waldron. One moment, I'll get that pulled up, and it's moving at 50 miles an hour. So it's quite fast for a tornado. And here we are. We can see that it'd be getting near Waldron at about 250. So if you know anybody in Waldron, let them know that they have about 40 minutes. They need to be monitoring this. to see if it stays together, and if it does stay together, it'll be nearing Waldron at about 250. I'm going to switch back over to the other radar because it's a bit easier to see everything that's going on. And so the reason why we're watching this is we have this blue, which is very strong wind blowing towards the radar, and we have this green, which is also blowing towards the radar, but it's blowing at a significantly lower rate. It's a lot slower. And so what that tells us is that this is, one, a fast-moving storm where it's moving so fast that the radar is telling us that or the radar thinks that it's blowing towards it. And then two, that is also telling us that it's got very strong wind in it, right? So we have this wind that is blowing this way, that is blowing this way, and that's forming that counterclockwise rotation, and that is tracking off to the northeast. It's just blowing so fast that it's not the typical red that you would come to expect. It's moving so fast that you're not going to see that data. Up in Missouri, there is some tornado warnings ongoing for Joplin. I just want to take a look at that just because that city's been hit very hard before. And I just want to take a look, see what's going on up there. I'm not seeing any debris on that storm, which is fortunate. And that is a radar indicated, so it has not been confirmed either. I do want to take another look back down to southwest Arkansas, see what's going on here. Again, I'm not seeing any immediate areas of rotation that seem to be forming. However, there is this special weather statement that does include Little River and Sevier counties. So we do need to closely watch those areas down in southwestern Arkansas because that's the area that if anything forms to the east of this line, those are the storms that we need to closely watch because that's where the isolated cells would form, and that is where we would be most likely to have tornadoes today. All right, they have updated this area that includes Washington County to be a tornado possible. That's going to be for this entire area here. It's very broad, but there is some rotation going on in there, so we are needing to watch that, and that will be coming into Fayetteville here shortly. So if you know anybody in Fayetteville, you might want to give them a heads up, let them know that there is a severe thunderstorm warning off to their west. It is headed towards them. It is not currently tornado warned, but it does have the possibility of developing one. So that area would be south of 45, west of 265. It would be heading to the northeast towards West Fork, Fayetteville, Farmington, Elkins, and areas east of there as well. So our current tornado warning is crossing into Arkansas right now into Polk County. That's going to be crossing Highway 8 here momentarily. There aren't any major areas out here that we can identify to say where it is, so we'll just have to go with street names.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
And there's that update for the severe thunderstorm warning for Washington and Crawford County, that I'm adding the tornado possible tag to it. So I want to take another look back down here at the tornado warning for Polk County and try and get some street names for where this would be. This would be nearing... Okay, this one doesn't have one. There we go. Polk Road 48, as well as a bunch of these roads are not named. Polk Road 95. So where 48 and 95 meet in Polk County, that is where this area rotation would be nearing right now. It's going to be north of Farm Road. Going to be north of Polk Road 159. And that area of rotation will go on and circle. It would be right in this area, and it's moving off to the northeast. So it's going to be moving really close to Minna. Minna is not included in it. There's no reason to take shelter right now in Minna, but you do need to closely monitor this because these storms do have a tendency to wobble. And if we start seeing that, then Minna, you might want to start taking shelter. Continuing up towards Waldron, it will eventually be there. As we said earlier, it'd be there at about 250. So you have about another 35 minutes or so until it gets to your area. And again, back up here, this storm that's headed into Fayetteville, the reason they have the tornado possible tag on it is this area in here. And this is moving off towards West Fork. So if you know anybody in West Fork, Fayetteville, Greenland, even Farmington, call them, let them know, hey, this area that's moving towards you, this storm is kind of rotating a little bit. So they might need to be mindful of that. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that is going to be for Sebastian, Crawford, Washington. Let me get the entire list here because we're getting into geography that I'm not quite familiar with. That's going to be for Crawford, Franklin, and Sebastian. Crawford, Franklin, Sebastian, and Washington counties. Okay, I got them all right the first time. And it also looks, yes, okay. That's going to be for this area. That includes Fort Smith, Barling, Mulberry, Mountainsburg, Cedarville, that entire area. It is not a tornado possible one. However, it does have 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts associated with it.
A new
And there's that new alert going off for that one being issued. Taking a look back down here to Polk County, that area would be coming very close to Highway 8, right along Polk Road 48, as well as Polk Road 95. So it's going to be just south of Polk County Road 95, nearing Highway 8. And that would be, again, headed up towards US 59 and eventually Waldron. Waldron is not in the warning. Portions of Scott County are. Those portions are going to be areas along 71 right at the county line, the southern county line, as well as areas of southwest Scott County. So this storm is going to be just to the west of Rocky and is going to be continuing to head up towards the northeast into Scott County. It is fully in Polk County now. I'm going to take a look at correlation coefficient. I'm not seeing anything there telling us that we have a tornado on the ground. Taking a look at reflectivity, we can see that we still have some inflow right in here where that would be, and then we have rain trying to wrap around there. So we do have some pretty strong rotation in this area. Want to take a look back up here to Washington County again. That area rotation would be right here to the west of 265, south of Prairie Grove. That is not tornado warned. However, we do need to closely monitor that, especially since it's heading into a more populated area.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
So that update right there that it's sending out is that they have trimmed it. They have cut off some of the southern ends of this.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
And so now this area rotation is going to be crossing Highway 8 momentarily. Back up here into Washington County, this area of rotation that we're watching up here is going to be right in here along Highway 265 south of Prairie Grove, heading up towards Hogeye and West Fork. It is not tornado warned, however, we do still need to continue monitoring it. And so crossing Highway 8, headed to the northeast, up in front of it, you're going to have Waldron and eventually Boonville, Magazine, and Blue Mountain off to the northeast. Those are not included in that warning. We'll just have to monitor to see how this storm develops and see if it holds together. I do want to take a look back down south because these storms are in that environment ahead of the line that we do need to be watching. I'm not seeing any immediate signs of rotation on those. Taking a look back up here in Washington County, I'm going to zoom in here, get some street. That's going to be Greasy Valley Road, right along County Road, or correction, Blue Mountain Road, where it meets with Brown Road. That's where that area of rotation in Washington County is going to be. Taking a look back down south, we can see that rotation, and Polk County has now crossed over Highway 8 and is now headed towards US 59 and Arkansas Highway 88. So Arkansas Highway 88, US 59, up into US 71 in southern Polk County. You need to start taking your tornado precautions because this area of rotation is starting to bear down on you. And again, I'll just go ahead and reset, tell everyone what we're looking at now that it's 2:21. We've been live for about 20 minutes now. We're watching this area of rotation to the west of Minna, moving to the northeast. It should stay away from Minna. However, Waldron is down the line, not currently in the warning, but it does need to be mindful of this. The other area of rotation we're watching is this area in Washington County. It is not tornado warned, and it is also moving off to the northeast towards West Fork and Prairie Grove. That's going to be to the west of Highway 265 and south of US 62, south of Prairie Grove. Moving towards West Fork, Greenland. We do have some special weather statements that are being issued for Sebastian County. I don't know why the blue pop-up is not working there, but it's supposed to pop up blue when one of those gets issued. That's going to be for this area of southern Sebastian County to include Hackett, Hartford, Huntington, and Greenwood. So those are the two areas of rotation that we are currently watching. We are watching the southern one, which is tornado warned. It has crossed Highway 8 and is moving towards Arkansas 88 and US 59. The northern one is going to be in this area of Washington County near Arkansas 265 south of US 62. That is moving towards West Fork and Farmington. That one is not tornado warned as of this moment. We just need to continue monitoring it because of how close it is to a populated area and the environment that we have over Arkansas today. The one that is tornado warned, again, has crossed over Arkansas Highway 8 and is moving towards Arkansas 88 and US 59. So this last radar update was at, let's see, at 2:20. So we have another update coming in about 30 minutes because they update every 3 or so minutes. So we should have us a new radar update any moment now. And as soon as that comes in, we'll see where it is and where it's headed. All right, and there's that new update. It's going to be still north of Highway 8. Moving towards Arkansas Highway 88 and US 59 still. Off to the northwest of Minna now. As it stands currently, I don't see why they would continue it. However, they might continue it into Scott County. And by that, I mean continue it into Waldron. That area that I was concerned about in Washington County is less concerning now. We just do need to still continue to monitor this. It wasn't ahead of the line. That was kind of the issue with that. It kind of was an embedded area of circulation along with that line. And as soon as this line passes, the severe threat diminishes greatly. So we can see this is where that line is. And they have already started dropping counties back in this area. So soon they'll drop the counties in eastern Oklahoma as well. And it will be an all Arkansas thing. Plus Missouri. But all Arkansas thing for us. And the newest update has it getting ready to cross Arkansas Highway 88 and US 59 near Rich Mountain and Eagleton. Okay, they have issued a new tornado warning that does include the city of Waldron. That's going to include all of US 71 in Scott County, practically all of 71. That does include Waldron proper. So if you're in Waldron, know someone in Waldron, you need to go on and give them a call, let them know they need to get in their tornado safe spot because there is a potential tornado headed towards them. I want to take a look again at Y City, see if we have anything. This is, let me see. If we were to see anything, it would be off on the...
a new radar indicated tornado warning has been issued.
There's that update for that tornado warning saying that it's been issued. If there were to be anything, it would be up in this area. Not seeing it there.
A new considerable destructive thunderstorm warning has been issued.
That one is a new severe thunderstorm warning for Washington County. That is considered destructive, or considerable, my apologies, and it does still have the tornado possible tag on it. So that is going to include the city of Fayetteville, the University of Arkansas, all the way out to the state line near Eureka Springs and Huntsville. Huntsville is not included in it. Neither is Eureka Springs proper, but it pushes right up against them. So if you know anybody at the University of Arkansas, you might want to tell them to get inside because it's about to get windy. In fact, I should probably do that myself. Let me pull radar back up here. It's still been showing for y'all, but my screen was looking at the traffic cam still. Yeah, so that area of rotation would be just north of Hogeye to the southeast of Prairie Grove, moving pretty much directly up 265. That is not tornado warned, but it does have that tornado possible tag on it. Back down to the proper tornado warning, that does include Waldron. It's going to be for this area along Arkansas Highway 88, headed over US 59 towards Eagleton. I'm going to take a look at correlation coefficient, and I'm not seeing a CC drop or anything to say that there is any kind of tornado on the ground there. And we have it now crossing over 59. I want to take another look at that camera. There it is. There is a lot of rain with this already ahead of the line that is obstructing any kind of view that we would have of it. This is about the closest view that we would have, and we don't have much of a view here. So not a good, this storm is not in a good location for us to get a view of it. I will take a look here at the storm headed towards Fayetteville. Let me try and get that on cameras. Okay, all of these cameras are pointing north, and I need one that points south. Okay, here's one that points south at Weddington. That's going to be a bit too far out to see, but if there were to be anything that, let me get that off there. If there were to be anything, it would be up to the top of the screen. However, we're not going to be able to see anything at this distance. And this is the RDOT camera at Weddington. Just got a new ding. I'm trying to see what's going on. That was just a SPC outlook for fire. So not really relevant to this right now. That area of rotation is now crossed over US 59 and is fully entering Scott County here momentarily, headed up towards Waldron. So if you know anybody in Waldron, give them a holler, let them know, hey, this area of rotation is headed towards you. You probably want to be taking shelter. I want to look back down here into southwest Arkansas. Not seeing any immediate areas of rotation. This area near Foreman is something that might be trying to develop here later on. We will need to keep in mind on that. I do want to take another look back up here because we could see from the Shreveport radar, which is quite far, that there is some intense upper level rotation with this storm. So if we look at a lower level, we can see that there is still that intense rotation that is translating its way down to the ground because Fort Smith is looking a lot lower than the Shreveport radar. So we're going to continue to monitor both of these areas of circulation, this one for Polk, now Scott County, as well as this area in Washington County. The area in Polk County is far more concerning than the one in Washington County. So that's going to be taking up the most of our attention. And they have just dropped the first tornado warning, and now that's all in effect is the second one that includes Waldron. So Waldron, you are still under a tornado warning, and you still need to be taking shelter for it. Going to be north of US 59, now headed towards Waldron. And let me just, I'm trying to check social media, see if there's any kind of pictures or anything that have been posted of any kind of tornado or circulation or really anything related to this. And I'm trying to look and see. We do have an update to that severe thunderstorm warning for Sebastian Carroll counties. They just trimmed off the eastern portions of it. I'm not seeing anything on social media that tells me that there's people taking pictures of this and that it's on the ground. So we're just having to rely on radar as of this moment. Again, that area of circulation is going to be north of US 59, headed up towards Shiloh and eventually Waldron. Y City is going to be just in the corner of this polygon. We do have a camera down here with iDrive that we were trying to look at earlier, but it's kind of at a downward angle. Doesn't quite show us the best.
New information.
And
This
there's the
severe
update for
thunderstorm
that
warning
severe
has been
thunderstorm warning.
updated.
You trimmed that off to include or to exclude some of the more western portions of that warning. And there's a look at Weddington Drive in Fayetteville, looking southbound. If there were to be a tornado near Fayetteville, this would probably be the best look because none of the other cameras look south. Granted, this is not a great look either. There's a mountain in the way, and the mountain has trees, so it's even harder to see. Plus, it's a rain-wrapped storm. So if there is anything, it's going to be hard to see already, regardless of mountains. I'm going to take another look back here at the Waldron. I just saw lightning here in Fayetteville. I'm going to take another look here at Y City and see if there's anything visible on that camera. And you probably just heard that lightning or that thunder here in Fayetteville. I don't know if you did. My mic might have noise suppressed it, but it was quite loud. So here's another look at Y City. We can see that we have rain bands up on the northern or up on the upper portion of this of the screen. That's just rain coming in with the storm. So either storm is going to be rain wrapped and difficult to see. And we can verify that by looking at reflectivity and just see that this is a mess. So Y City is going to be right here, and that storm is that camera is looking southbound along this road. So we'd be able to get us a pretty good view of it, but we're just not seeing it. I want to see, does this still have, yes, this still has a tornado possible tag on it. That area rotation, probably the most intense area would be along
New information.
US 50,
this severe thunderstorm
49.
warning has been updated.
They have just trimmed off the northern severe thunderstorm warning. That is for Benton County only. They have trimmed Siloam Springs out of it. So at this point, Siloam Springs, you are clear weather-wise, severe weather-wise for the night. So Siloam Springs, you are the first city to be cleared of the night. Back down here to Waldron and Scott County, this area of rotation is going to be approaching Nella Road, headed off to the northeast. And again, I'm checking social medias just to see if there's anybody taking pictures of these. And I'm not seeing anything being posted on social media, so cannot verify that this is on the ground. There is a lot of rain and wind starting to pick up here, so we're just going to watch this camera as the storm rolls in. And for reference, I want to just take another look at where this camera is. This is going to be in Y City, which is going to be off to the southwest, southeast of that area of rotation. So we're going to be starting to see the rear of this storm kind of hit this camera. And this is the best view that we have of this storm. So it's really the only view that we have, but it is still makes that the best view. Let me go on ahead and go back to it, and we can continue watching this.
New information, this tornado warning has been updated. New information, this severe considerable destructive thunderstorm warning has been updated.
We are continuing to watch the Y City camera through iDrive. As this storm does move off towards Waldron, I want to get another update as it pushes off to the northeast near Nella Road. Let me zoom in here and get some better roads here. This is going to be near Heath Creek Road. Correction, Health Creek Road. As well as Eagle Gap Road. So I'm going to go on ahead and circle where that area of rotation is, and it's going to be right in here, moving off to the northeast. So Waldron, you need to be getting in your tornado safe spot. Let's take a look at velocity, or correction, correlation coefficient. I'm not seeing anything that indicates that a tornado would be currently on the ground. We'd be looking for bright blue surrounded by red. With me saying that, you might be thinking, oh, that might be something. No. If we look at reflectivity, that's out in the middle of nowhere. So that's just something being picked up by radar that radar doesn't know what it is, essentially. Want to take a look back at Washington County, see what's going on up here, because they do have that severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. And again, it's just really strong wind moving into Fayetteville. And looking out the window here, I can tell you that it is, in fact, very strong wind. I can't see. Visibility is down to, oh, wow, that's rain is blowing sideways out there. Looking back down here to Waldron, that area of rotation, they have almost completely trimmed Polk County out of here. That's what that update was when we were looking at the camera. So that's going to be approaching Nella Road near Shiloh, heading up towards Waldron. I want to go back to the camera and just keep watching this, because this is the only live view that we have of it, and all it's showing is rain and wind. And I want to add some context to where this camera is. That's going to be here in Y City, and it's going to be looking to the south. So we're going to be looking at the back edge of this storm now as it passes through. I want to take another look back up here at Washington County. I'm not seeing anything immediate. However, I do want to switch this camera here over to Weddington Drive, because that's the only camera in this area that looks south. Although, let me see here. If we could look north from West Fork, we'd probably have a pretty good view of it. Ah, yeah, we do. Actually, no, we don't, but yes, we do. We do have a good view of the environment. You can see that there is, like I said, strong wind here. You can see the rain bands along the road here. So this is coming into Fayetteville. Very intense wind, very heavy rain. I believe the gusts are up to 70 miles an hour on this. And we do have a new tornado warning that does include Mountainburg and Winslow. That's going to be for this area of circulation getting ready to cross I-49. We're going to see if we can't get that on camera, because we do have several cameras down in that area. We have a view of the tunnel cam, which is, again, nothing. So we are kind of blind here. These are very rain-wrapped storms. If there is going to be a tornado on the ground, it's going to be hard to see it. So I want to try and get a view looking north here. And again, we have the double bridges that I hate driving over, and just nothing but rain. That area of rotation is going to be near Mountainburg. I'm trying to get us a better camera.
A new radar indicated tornado warning.
And there's the
has been
update on
issued.
that being pushed out. We're going to be looking at Chester South. So from Chester, this camera that we're watching is going to be located in here, and it's going to be looking south towards that area of rotation, which is right where it would be crossing. Let's go ahead and go to that now. So this is that. We're going to watch for a minute as that storm pushes into the area. Not seeing anything that tells me there's a tornado immediately on the ground, but we do need to closely monitor this because this is about to be crossing over a very busy traffic corridor on a very busy travel weekend. And again, this area of rotation would be heading up towards Chester, towards Winslow. It is going to be north of Mountainburg, between Mountainburg and Chester. So Chester, Mountainburg, you both need to be in your tornado safe spots right now. It just crossed over 49, or it is crossing 49 right now, and we would be looking at this on the camera as we look southbound towards it. And I'm not seeing anything kind of lowering it, but again, it's a lot of rain out here with this storm, lots of strong wind. I want to not forget about the people down in Scott County. This area of rotation is not as intense as it once was, but people in Waldron, you need to continue to be taking shelter. Areas along US 71, Arkansas 28 near Waldron, continue to take shelter. This area here does include portions of Washington County. It also includes Crawford and Madison counties as well. So it has just crossed over just crossed over I-49 and is continuing off to the northeast. So I want to take another look at the iDrive camera here. And again, this is the iDrive camera at Chester looking southward. So if there were to be a tornado, we would be likely seeing it cross pretty close to the front of this camera. This area of rotation is not an extremely intense. This is an area, a radar indicated rotation. However, we are continuing to monitor it just because the National Weather Service says that it's rotating enough. And we can see, here's that band of rain getting ready to move in here. You can see it just behind that FedEx truck, I believe it is, as it pushes off towards this direction. So we're just going to go quiet and watch this for a few months. Ah, it's a Walmart truck, not a FedEx truck. But we can see the conditions are rapidly deteriorating here in Chester. Cars coming out of there have their hazards on, and we're starting to see, wow, wind is picking up, rain is picking up, and we're just going to sit back and watch this view for a brief moment and check radar here in about 60 seconds. All right, I want to take another look at radar. This area of rotation, again, is going to be north of Mountainburg, moving off to the northeast towards Winslow. Seeing reports of tornado sirens in Van Buren. Van Buren does not currently have a tornado. I'm not sure if you're here, but there is not a tornado warning for Van Buren. However, it is going off in the county because the northern portion of the county has a tornado warning. But Van Buren, you do not currently have a tornado warning. There's an update to that tornado watch. That is because they are trimming off counties out to the west. They are canceling it for 6 counties out to the west in Oklahoma.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
There's a new severe thunderstorm warning that does include Benton County. That's going to be for just this mess of wind and rain up in here that is still moving through Fayetteville based on what I'm seeing outside my window. Back down here towards Waldron, again, that area of rotation is not as intense as it once was. Not seeing any indication that it's on the ground on radar, but Waldron, you need to continue taking shelter. A tornado warning does expire in 14 minutes, so it expires at the top of the hour at 3 p.m. I want to take another look back up here to Winslow. That area of circulation would be along US 61, moving off to the northeast. Near Maddox Spring and Artist Point is where that tornado or that circulation would be. I want to take another look here. We can see how quickly conditions have deteriorated, and I'm going to see if we can't get a camera that looks north.
New information. This tornado warning has been updated.
That's an update to that current tornado warning. Nope, that is a new tornado warning that does include Boonville, Magazine, Blue Mountain. We called them cities out earlier, saying that down the line this would be headed towards you. So again, that area of circulation is going to be approaching Waldron, getting close to Waldron now. If you know anybody in Waldron, you got to call them, tell them now's the time to act. As this continues off to the northeast, up towards Boonville, Magazine, and Blue Mountain.
A new radar-indicated tornado warning has been issued.
So currently we have 2 tornado warnings in the state, or well, 3 tornado warnings for 2 storms. We have the southern storm right here moving near Waldron. That's the camera that we were just looking at. Correction, that's not the camera we were just looking at. Camera we were just looking at is this storm near Chester and Mountainburg moving off to the northeast. So I want to take another look here at the storm moving near Mountainburg. Here it is. We can see the conditions have rapidly, Here it is. We can see the conditions have rapidly deteriorated. And I'm going to try and get us a better angle here momentarily. And see if we have anything looking south. We have the iDrive camera looking, the tunnel cam looking south, but, well, I'll show you why we can't really use it. Such intense rain and wind up there that it's not useful at all for us.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
So back down here to Waldron, that area of circulation is going to be approaching Waldron on the west side of town. So anyone in Waldron, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now. That's the lowest floor, most interior room, away from walls or exterior walls and windows. Also wear shoes. In case a tornado did happen to hit you, you need to have shoes on just because there's going to be glass and sharp objects everywhere. I want to take a look back up here to Washington County. They have updated this. They've trimmed it. Fayetteville is still included in it. However, the severe threat for Fayetteville is rapidly diminishing, as is for Prairie Grove, Lincoln. They have canceled it for pretty much all of Oklahoma. As I said, as this line moves through, your severe weather threat is gone. So areas west of this line, you are starting to be in the clear. Fort Smith, you have maybe 15 more minutes, and then you'll be in the clear. But this storm near Waldron is really starting to concern me a bit. Looking at it on reflectivity, it's starting to get like it's got a hook on it, and that's going to be moving directly towards Waldron, Boonville, Magazine, Blue Mountain. And we are not going to have a view on that on cameras, I don't believe. I'm going to see if we can get one. No, we're not. So we're going to be without cameras here for a little bit as it heads off to the northeast. I want to take another look back at the storm near Chester.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
And we can see just how you can't see anything now. And people are parking under bridges, which is not a great idea when there's a tornado to... Oh, I got a screen up. Not a great idea to be parking under bridges like that, so get out of there. Go. Shoo. Because you're creating a wind tunnel when you're in a tornado warning and you park under a bridge. There's probably hell with this. We can almost certainly see some. I just can't say for sure. But I get wanting to protect your car, but you're endangering yourself when you park under a bridge. And you're endangering others because you're going to be creating traffic hazards that other drivers are going to be having to worry about when they should be worried about getting somewhere safe. And a bridge is not it. This area approaching Waldron on the west side of town is going to be crossing 248, Arkansas Highway 80 here momentarily, and it will be crossing over US 71 off to the northeast. And let me go on ahead and circle this area rotation. It's going to be this broad area right in here between 248 and 80, right near the Waldron Public Schools. We'll take another look back here at the traffic cams just for a brief moment as we see that it's already starting to clear up a little bit in Chester. Taking a look back here on radar, we can see that it's going to be passing to the north of Waldron. Waldron, you need to stay in your safe spot because it is directly over you. This warning for Crawford and let me get all the county names here. For Crawford, Washington, and Madison counties, I'm not seeing that intense area of rotation as we were seeing earlier. I'm expecting them to either cancel this or let it expire. But the storm near Waldron is currently the most dangerous one that we need to keep an eye on. They have issued a severe thunderstorm warning for those areas earlier, and I pointed out earlier there was a bit of rotation starting to develop. They've went ahead and issued a tornado possible tag with that severe thunderstorm warning as it moves into, let me get the county names here, into Sevier, Howard, and Little River counties. That area of rotation that I was mentioning earlier is going to be just to the west of Dirks. It is not enough to go tornado warned.
Warning,
but it is something you need to watch.
Has been reported.
The area for Scott County is going to be crossing to the north of Waldron. Waldron, stay in your tornado safe spot for about 10 more minutes, and it should be out of your area. So stay there for about 10 more minutes. In southern Washington County, over into Madison County, northern Crawford County, you do need to stay in your tornado safe spot because this area of rotation, although it is weakened, it is still present, and it is still heading off to the northeast. So let me go ahead and circle that. It would be this area right in here, and it's headed off to the northeast. So areas along Arkansas 16 and areas to the east of US 71. They have gone ahead and issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. That is a very large severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it says. Does not have a tornado possible tag on it, so that is some good news. They're likely doing this to get ready to drop this other tornado warning. I cannot confirm that. It's supposed to drop in 10 minutes. Correction, 20 minutes. So they might be getting ready to cancel that one. We'll see what happens with it. I want to take a look back down here to Waldron. Again, that area of rotation would be just north of Waldron. Right along, let me get some street names here. Right along Foxy Lane, Link Road, and White Oak Road.
A new severe
So there's that new update for them issuing this big severe thunderstorm warning. That includes I-40 between... Yeah, they have trimmed down this warning. Let me go ahead and read it, see what they're saying about it. They're saying that it's still capable of producing a tornado, and it's located southeast of Brentwood, 6 miles southeast of Brentwood, which is this area right in here. So these storms are starting to move off into an area where we don't have any cameras of any kind to look at them with. So we're going to be going based purely on radar. So the most concerning storm in the state, in my opinion, is this one headed up towards Boonville.
New information.
And there's the update talking about them trimming down this warning. But this one headed off towards Boonville, Magazine, Blue Mountain.
New information.
This is the most concerning tornado in my opinion.
Has been updated.
And we can see that rotation is actually starting to increase a bit. We can see that the red is starting to build up, which means that it's starting to get stronger. There's an update where that rotation would be right in this area. So right in here. Let me get some street names here. Again, right over Link Road, headed to the northeast. So where Link Road and Whippoorwill Lane meet is where that area of rotation would be. That is headed off to the northeast towards Boonville, Magazine, and Blue Mountain eventually. And I want to take another look down here and make sure we're not missing anything in this line of storms. Not anything from the Shreveport camera or radar, although we do have a bit of rotation to the north of Dirks on the Fort Smith radar, so we do need to watch that. I believe Fort Smith would have a bit higher view there, which tells me that there is rotation ongoing at higher levels. It just has not translated its way down to the ground yet. And this storm for Waldron looks like it might actually be cycling a bit, so I want to take a look at our Waldron camera, at iDrive's Waldron camera here. Correction, Y City camera, because that's where this area would be cycling to. So the reason I say it's cycling is we have this dominant area of rotation. They've just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. It's pretty large. Let's see what all it says for. Tornado possible with 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. So that area of rotation originally is right in here, moving off to the northeast. But this area down here, heading right over Y City, is starting to pique my interest. And we'll be seeing that on cameras here momentarily. So that heads up towards Needmore and the Strickland landing strip. So the reason for this tornado warning is going to be that northern area circulation right in here. And again, that's still pretty dangerous area circulation. But I do believe that it could be trying to undergo a cycle, which would put that tornado down in this area, which would also be tracking to the northeast. So Boonville, Magazine, Blue Mountain, you do need to be mindful of the current tornado warning. Down the line for this, Y City, Needmore, the Strickland landing strip. That area needs to be mindful of this second area of rotation that's trying to build up just south of it. And if we look at reflectivity, we can see that this is all part of the same cell. However, it's just ejecting southward, and we're going to start seeing a buildup down in this area. And that's going to be heading off to the northeast as well. That will eventually be near Danville, Havana, Dardanelle, and Russellville within the next couple of hours. So that's still a couple hours away, but we do want to be watching this and be mindful of it if you're in the Russellville area. Back up here to this area rotation. Tornado warning expires in 15 minutes. I'm not seeing a reason to keep that one running. It's not there. I'll be abundantly clear with you. I'll be brutally honest. It's not there. Chester, Mountainburg, Winslow, you are in the clear of that tornado warning. You've already been dropped, so you're good. Areas of Washington County, Madison County, Crawford County, you're still in the tornado warning. So I'd still treat it like there's a tornado on the ground headed towards you, but I'm just not seeing it on velocity in this area anymore. But I do want to take a look back down here to the Scott County storm, which again, I do believe is trying to undergo a cycle. This is the dominant area circulation. This is what we've been watching as it crossed north of Waldron. This area is heading up to the northeast. Let me redraw that arrow because I didn't draw it right. Heading up to the northeast towards Boonville, Magazine, and Blue Mountain. However, this area down to the south is starting to pique my interest. That's going to be crossing US 71, head off to the northeast as well. What we're likely to see is that northern area start to broaden out, and then the southern area will become more intense and more intense until they have to issue a new tornado warning for it. Right now, the northern one is the most concerning, but that southern one is what we need to watch. I want to take another look down here towards Dirks, and we see that we do have a bit of rotation north of it. It's not enough for them to issue a tornado warning. Again, southeast of Minna. I'm going to go and encircle that. Right in here along Arkansas Highway 8, moving off to the northeast as well. Taking a look at reflectivity, it's not, there's not enough up with it, if that makes sense. They have a new update to this. That's going to pop up on the screen here in a moment, but it is already flashing. They are just trimming this down, trying to cut people out of the warning if they don't need to be in the warning. So I'm going to encircle that area of rotation. It's going to be, let me redraw that. It's going to be right here, and it's going to be moving off to the northeast towards Boonville, Magazine, Blue Mountain. I do want to take another look at the Y City camera. This is where that southern area of circulation would be. That would be crossing, I believe, just behind this camera, so we're not going to be able to get a good view of it, but we are going to be able to see the effects on the ground around it. So that area is not currently tornado warned. Areas north of it is. This area, though, is just something that we do need to watch as it moves near this camera. I want to go back to radar and we can see what we're talking about. This is the northern area. This is the more dominant area, the area that has the tornado warning. But I do believe that it is trying to undergo a cycle here momentarily, where it'll start ejecting south, and that area will become the more dominant area. So we need to take shelter for the northern one and monitor the southern one. So if you're Boonville, Magazine, Blue Mountain, there's the update saying that they're trimmed it down.
Has been updated.
If you're in Scott, Logan, Yell counties and you're included in this polygon, this red polygon, that's the tornado warning. You do need to go in and take shelter, act as if there's a tornado on the ground. We're going to take a look at correlation coefficient. No. Okay. See, there is a little bit of a blue area. It does, make me think, okay, maybe there's a tornado on the ground. But if we look at reflectivity, we can see that that is not lining up to where there is precipitation going on, which tells me that that's just something, that's just debris, not debris. That's just contamination. There's the word I'm looking for. It's contamination that the radar is misinterpreting. So taking a look at velocity, we can see that we do have that southern end is still starting to ramp up. This wind that is blowing towards the radar and that wind that is blowing away from it. This southern area needs to be closely monitored as it moves on. But again, this northern area is going to be right in here, south of the county line here, nearing the northern end of Scott County. So we're going to continue to monitor this as it moves off towards Boonville, Magazine, and Blue Mountain. And it's again still going to be north of Waldron, moving up into Logan County. It does include a small portion of Yell County. However, it's not, I don't believe there's any populated areas out here in Yell County, this area. I want to take another look at the Y-City camera. We can see that wind is still kicking. Trees are still blowing around. Cars are still driving north into this area. They don't need to be doing that. So hopefully their phones are going off as they drive into that area. Where they are going to be right here traveling north. They don't need to be doing that because this southern area of rotation that is trying to develop is right in that area where they're driving into. I want to take another look back up north, make sure I'm not missing anything. Not that I'm immediately seeing, however, this area north of Dirks is still quite concerning as it's moving off also to the east and northeast. Also, this area to the southeast of Minna, still a bit concerning, not enough for a tornado warning. And as I was saying earlier, the northern area, we're going to start seeing it start to gust out a bit. There's still a tornado warning on it, so Boonville, Magazine, you still need to be taking your tornado precautions. But I believe that this storm is trying to undergo a cycle. That's going to put that storm down a bit further south than where it was, and that's going to put it more on a course for Danville, Plainview, and Ola, potentially. So that area of circulation, the unwarned area, it would be along Highway 71 north of 28, just at that intersection. And we can take a look at velocity, and we can see that the rain is trying to wrap around something here. But what it is, well, it hasn't got to that point yet to be able to tell. And looking in here, we can see that there is rain wrapping around this with some wind blowing into it. But we are, again, it's broadening out from where it was earlier. And that southern area is going to become the more dominant cell. So I'm going to just quickly circle all three areas that I'm most concerned about. Obviously, we do have the current tornado warning. We also have this area south of Waldron, which is the tornado warning trying to cycle. There's actually four. There's going to be this area between Minna and Norman, and then this area north of Dirks. Those are the four areas that I'm concerned about. The tornado warning has been canceled, That was set to go for a few more minutes, but it has been canceled, so there are no tornado warnings in the state of Arkansas. That's going to change our view here from red to orange here in a moment. Not sure when that's going to do that, but everything that's red on the screen should go to orange. But the area of rotation that I'm still most concerned about is this area near Waldron. Let me take a look at reflectivity again. I'm starting to be less concerned about it because there is this rain out here in front of it, which would be getting sucked into it, and tornadoes don't like that. They don't want rain being sucked into their inflow.
Okay,
A new
we have gone back to
thunderstorm
yellow warning has been issued.
Or orange. So we just have this line of storms that is moving through the state. And while we don't have any tornado warnings, I'm going to take a brief moment, take a short break. I'm going to set up a camera just in front of the storms looking west at them. So we'll be able to look back at the storms and see as they come through on I-40. But I'll be stepping away for a brief moment.
New information, this severe thunderstorm warning has been updated. New information, this severe considerable destructive thunderstorm warning has been updated. New information, this severe thunderstorm warning has been updated. New information, this severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
So I'm not talking much right now. There's not a tornado warning anywhere in the state, and I want to try and rest my voice for if there is to be a tornado later on tonight, because there's a lot of talking. So I'm not going to be doing much talking right now. I'm still here, so if anything does pop up, I'll immediately start calling it out, and you'll probably be seeing me look around on the radar, because that's pretty much all that I can do until we start getting something going on. It's pointless for me to just sit here calling out severe thunderstorm warnings, um, because your phones are going to be going off for them probably. So I'm here. I'm just not talking much. So this view from Ozark as this storm moves in along I-40. We're gonna quickly look at radar, see where this is and what's about to happen. So velocity wise, I'm not seeing anything that would indicate a tornado being here, but it's about to get very windy and very rainy. So this camera is located right here, and it's looking off to the west. I believe it's located right there. Yeah, it's located somewhere in this immediate area, and it's looking off to the west. So we're looking at the storm that's getting ready to move into the area here in Ozark, and we'll go on ahead and sit back and watch it move in. So there's not much for me to say right now. Um, we don't have any pressing areas of rotation that we need to be mindful of. We don't have anything really other than just some severe thunderstorms with some strong straight line winds that are pushing their way through the state. So that's all that we're dealing with right now, but we are watching very closely to see if anything does spin up. But right now, this is a look at Ozark as we look off to the west as this line of storms is pushing its way down I-40. So we'll have a view as it pushes through, and we'll be seeing that very momentarily. It's going to be popping up here in a moment saying that there is a new severe thunderstorm warning for Carroll, Franklin, and Madison. I don't know if I think that is just an update. No, that is a new one. It's going to be this storm right here. It's a very weird looking polygon. This is that one. I did not outline that correctly, but that's what's warned currently. And not seeing any immediate areas of rotation. We do have some down here near Daisy that I'm watching. This area near Norman I'm watching. This area near Odin I'm watching. None of them are extremely pressing as of current, though. So we're going back to Ozark to watch as this storm makes its way down I-40.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
And there was that update saying that that new severe thunderstorm was issued. National Weather Service in Little Rock has just issued two special weather statements for a series of counties. Montgomery, Scott, Clark, Garland, Polk, Pike, Yell. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Let me go to the map here and show you these. Because it's being divided up into weird ways. Nope, not that one. This one. There we go. So for Clark, Pike, yeah, there they are being popped up.
Warning,
There's
a new
supposed to be a
special
blue
event has
box that
been
pops up
reported.
around those, but it is not popping up around them. But it's supposed to. It's not doing that currently, though. That's going to be for this area. Here we go. See what I meant? Pike, Southwest Montgomery County, higher elevations, and then Yell, excluding Northwest. Clark, Polk, County, lower elevations. It's just dividing it up into weird segments. So it's going to be for Clark, Pike, Garland, Scott, Polk, Yell, and Montgomery counties through 4 p.m. And that's for all of these different areas of rotation that are right in here. None of these are enough to be tornado warned, but they all do need to be monitored. I'm going to take a look at reflectivity, and we can see that they're all embedded in their own little showers. If they can form up and one of them become dominant, then they have the potential to cause some issues. I want to take a look at it from Little Rock. We can't see it the best, but we can see it pretty well from Fort Smith. So we're just going to keep an eye on it. And,
New information, this severe considerable destructive thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Yeah, so that's for those areas pushing out northwest Arkansas. And I do want to say again that if you are behind this line, you are in the clear. So Fayetteville, Bentonville, Fort Smith, you're in the clear. Once this line passes you, you're in the clear. So I want to go back to Ozark because this storm is rapidly approaching now and should be surpassing the camera any moment now. Well, there goes a storm chaser of some sort.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Could see the light flashing on top of his truck because apparently, as a storm chaser, you gotta have flashing lights that blind people. Anyway, we'll go back to watching this.
New information, this severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Tell you what, that storm near Daisy's starting to try and do something, so we're gonna need to keep watching an eye on that. We can see the
New information, this severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Okay, and I got interrupted right as I went to talk. We can see that the rain and the wind is starting to get to the Ozark camera here. Rain's starting to hit the cameras. The trees in the background are starting to blow more intensely. And any moment now, we're going to see a wall of rain come at this camera. So we're just sitting back waiting for that. And I'm going to actually take a look at it on radar here just so we can... Where am I at? Here we are. Yeah, so it's right in here where we're waiting for this wall of rain and wind to hit. So we're going to see that wall of rain come in here any moment. And in fact, here it comes. Yeah, we can see just how quickly visibility has dropped. We can no longer see the sign for that truck stop over there, and drivers on the roads are likely having trouble seeing other drivers here. In fact, I can barely make out them two cars passing by there. Oh, there's another two. Yeah, conditions have rapidly deteriorated here in Ozark. And the National Weather Service, let me make sure my microphone is on. There it is. Yeah. The National Weather Service has canceled Benton, Crawford, Sebastian, Washington counties from the watch. It does continue for Carroll, Franklin, Madison until 7 p.m. And as well as all of the areas in the Little Rock Metro or Little Rock County warning area. So this is going to update here momentarily, removing these counties from this watch. As I said, anything behind this line, as the line passes over, you are going to be cleared from your severe weather threat, and that's what we're seeing there with them doing that. I do want to quickly take a moment to look at this storm near Daisy. It is not, let me switch over to the Fort Smith radar. It's going to be down here just north of Daisy. There's that update popping up saying that they've dropped it. The map will update here momentarily. These all run on completely different systems, so there's no, they're not all tied together. They're not synchronized. But this area north of Daisy, south of 84, north of 70, east of 369, and west of 70 again. There's just a little bit of rotation in here that I am trying to monitor. If we look at reflectivity, we can see that's right in the middle of it.
This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
And they do have an update to this. It is set to expire in 11 minutes. Still has a tornado possible tag on it. There's this area headed towards Murfreesboro that they are worried about. This area north of Daisy, this area north of Norman headed towards Mount Ida. Just there's a lot of embedded areas of weak, broad rotation all up and down this line through southern Arkansas that we are having to closely watch. And we'll go back to the Ozark camera. All right, and they have issued a new series of severe thunderstorm warnings. Is that for the same? Yes, that's for the same area. So that's popping up on camera now. That's going to be for Clark, Garland, Hot Spring, Montgomery, Perry, Pike, Polk, Scott, and Yell counties until 4:15. That does have a tornado possible tag on it. That is going to be that storm that we were just talking about, or that I was just talking about. This area north of Daisy is an area of rotation that I'm concerned about. I'll go in and circle it. And this area between Odin and Mount Ida is also an area I'm concerned about. So this warning extends all the way out to Hot Springs. Once it gets out there, we'll be able to start getting some camera views on it. So there's a camera view here in Hot Springs as we look west. It's not going to have the best view for a little bit. So let me go ahead and show you what we're looking at. This camera view is located in here and it's looking to the west. So we're looking back at these clouds, at this storm through here that is pushing off in this direction. So we're going to be watching this area as it moves through.
New information, this severe considerable destructive thunderstorm warning has been updated. A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm not seeing anything that's looking like it's trying to develop anything substantial. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and then if a tornado warning comes out, we'll be back on. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and end, and we'll be back later on.